All right, and we are live. We are back. Welcome to another episode of Fifth Day Practice. Let's get into it, Jig. Let's get into it. How you doing
Go.
today, brother? How you doing today,
Good.
brother?
I'm good. I'm great, man.
Man,
Co-host Chris J here, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Sorry, we got started a little late. Had to figure some things out. Watching the tail end of the Vikings game, and yeah, that was a bit of a nail biter. You know, they like to do that to us.
Right. We appreciate everybody that's jumping on today. I know it's not our typical Thursday that we do at 6:30, but we got our regular job, so sometimes they take priority, or all the time they take priority. So
all the time, all the
all the
time.
time.
Well,
So,
welcome back, everybody. I am your host, Shad, and
Chris J.
we are in the building. So let's jump into it, Chris J.
Man, Vikings
Saints,
game just ended. Vikings Saints.
Viking Saints, man. Viking Saints.
What are your thoughts?
Goddamn Vikings letting this backup quarterback come in there and ruin an amazing game. What the heck was that, man? Okay, so Jameis Winston comes in, third quarter, throws for two impressive touchdowns.
They were
Sorry, my Siri wants to go off. Two
all good.
impressive touchdowns. And then the Saints D, they stepped up and did their thing. They kind of figured out Dobbs and all that, who had a great game that first half. Oh my gosh, he was Josh Dobbs was killing it. What he had two, did he have two touchdowns?
Yeah,
No,
he threw for one, I believe, and
he
ran in one, if I remember correctly.
yeah. And apparently he's like he got the second most rushing yards for a quarterback in the league. Um, which is behind Jackson. So
Mhm.
I found that quite interesting. But yeah, so yeah, he ran a touchdown, he threw one in, and then that running back, Ty Chandler.
Ty Chandler, yeah, he's from the University of North Carolina, man. He's a baller, man. He looks like
Man,
he might be that guy that that they want to give the bulk of the carries to.
yeah, 'cause, I mean, he was running downhill, man, and his acceleration is boom.
It's
Like when he
crazy.
gets that, oh, he's gone, man. So I was really impressed with him. And Addis said he started out strong. He's got some great hands. Um, but that second half, man, yeah, that was crazy. Refs, they took a fourth quarter touchdown away from us, called holding,
Yeah,
total
that was on
BS.
Chandler. That's that Carolina. I see my boy
Yeah.
Ron in there talking about Carolina, baby. He know that's UNC right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dig it. Matter of fact, let me get these going. Let me get these going. Let's go Cowboys. Yeah,
No,
I got no beef
no,
against the Cowboys. I got no
no.
beef.
We don't need that.
I got no beef. Let's see what else. There's a I got a little scared when the Saints did that cover zero blitz
Mhm.
and sacked Dobbs towards the end of the fourth quarter. Um, and again, the ref, they took a fumble away from the Vikings. We won that challenge, but we kind of lost it. In my opinion, I think that we recovered that. That I think he fumbled the ball before his hiney hit the ground, but
Right,
whatever.
right.
But that interception by Blackman, that was clutch.
Oh,
That
it
was
was big
clutch.
time. Well, and
Yeah,
that's the thing with Jameis. Now that play, I'm not gonna really get on him about it because that was an all out blitz. You know what I mean? They emptied the kitchen sink and
they did.
and they had everybody in the box, and you don't have enough offensive linemen to cover all those guys that are blitzing. So he had
Right.
to get rid of the ball fast. But that's kind of the yin and the yang with Jameis Winston. He'll ball out. You saw those two darts he threw, like that touchdown to
Yeah.
Chris Olave, that first one.
Yeah.
Perfect placement. And then that second one,
Perfect.
that was like 95 miles an hour. He threw
Yeah.
threw it across his body, across the field. That was crazy. Like
Yeah.
those are plays he made in college at Florida State when he won the Heisman Trophy, won the national championship. He's making major plays like that. But then he throws a lot of interceptions. The last time he started, I think in Tampa Bay, it was like 30 something touchdowns, 30 something interceptions, something crazy like that.
Right.
Yeah, and his first
Yeah,
time
sit his ass down.
it's ever been done in the NFL history. So
So he's like a coin of both sides. I mean,
yeah, It's
It's
like, yeah, no, it's
right.
one of those situations.
One of those situations.
But I mean, as you see, I don't necessarily want him starting, but if he can come in and make some plays for you, your guy get hurt, he might, be a guy that can short stop, short gap starter for you, a few games. I'm not impressed with Derek Carr. Even
Not at
before
all.
he got hurt, he wasn't doing anything.
Right. Right.
Alvin Kamara, the running back, he can still get off and do his thing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll tell you, I was impressed by the Vikings defense, even with those 2 touchdowns. Their defense was real impressive.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. They did the best they could. Your bro, the good and the bad with Winston. Yep.
Yeah, that's facts.
Sure enough. Sure enough. Yeah. I tell you what, he scared the hell out of me. I'm like, oh shit.
He's good for that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: what you've seen Dobbs now? This is his first game starting.
Yep.
He filled in the Falcons game when he came in. What are your thoughts about Dobbs at this point?
His ability to extend the plays is what gets me hyped.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I mean he escaped from how many sacks that came in there because our line isn't that good.
Right.
So there are a lot of things that happened in the game where freaking Cousins would have got sacked, but Dobbs turns him into like he'll send the play or he'll run he run himself and get the yards, got a TD, you know what I mean, out of him. So his ability to do that is great. He's not as accurate as Cousins.
Correct.
I still don't think he has the ability to pick you apart like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a hard person to scout for. I mean, that's why people have a lot of trouble with Jackson, Baltimore, because you just never know when he's gonna take off. So you have to use a linebacker to spy him. So you can't really drop that person back in coverage and all that. So it definitely brings a different look to the Vikings offense. So I'm excited to see what happens in the coming weeks. I do not have high hopes that the Vikings will make the playoffs. And then if they do, I don't think they're going to go very far because, I mean, Dobbs. You know what I mean? It's not Cousins. He's not a premier quarterback, starter. Like I said, because he's with the Cardinals, right? And they're about to sit him, right? He's basically just hanging in there for Murray to get back. So
well, and a little backdrop on him, he actually was with the Steelers when training camp started, and they were getting ready to get rid of him, and they ended up sending him to Arizona. So yeah, so this is basically his third team he's been on
in one season
since July. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I think there's a ceiling with him. Yeah.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, I actually wrote most of that down.
I appreciate you looking up Wikipedia, doing your research.
Yeah. But now go ahead. You said there's a ceiling, right?
There's a ceiling with Dobbs, man. You know what I mean? Right. Hence the reason, like we just talked about, where he's been on all these different teams. Mm-hmm. But I think he's a good guy to have on your roster. Yeah. The Vikings, I know we're kind of projecting and moving forward, but he might be a guy where, if you draft a quarterback next offseason, a young quarterback, maybe you're looking to get a franchise quarterback, you keep Dobbs on the roster. You bring him back, he can be your backup, push that guy, because it looks like the players like him, that, he galvanizes the locker room, galvanizes the team. Seems, he's got that charisma about himself, and the players seem to like him. So, why not keep him on the team? If he wants to come back, obviously, if you want to have him back, but
right. And he can make a name for himself this season. I mean, this is just what we've seen so far. We've only seen a couple of games. Again, I didn't watch him when he was playing with the Cardinals, because who watches the Cardinals? Nobody cares. So so I didn't really get to assess him there. So now I can see what happened. And it might not have been the right offense for him either. You know what I mean? So
right.
We'll see what he can do for the rest of the season. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. And it's a go. Now how's the other Ham? How's Hall? How's he doing?
I haven't heard anything about him at all.
Was that a concussion type deal, or
it sounded, but I didn't even hear he's out of the concussion protocol. I didn't hear any any updates of Dobbs is starting, and then it was just kind of they moved on from Hall. I'm sure we'll get an update this week coming up. We'll be able to talk about it before the on the next show before the Vikings game. But I didn't hear any updated news on him at all.
Okay. Okay. All right. We'll have to keep a lookout for. Speaking of injuries, Justin Jefferson, he didn't play
Right.
again. What do you heard on that?
Man, I know he was on the injured list, so they put him on the IL, and with that IL, you have to sit out a minimum of 4 games, which
Okay.
he's done that. But I saw some quotes from him earlier this week, and he talked about not coming back until he's 100%.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense because he shouldn't.
No,
Yeah.
there's no reason to.
Yeah.
You know,
There's no reason to at all. Because
and
yeah,
this
that's
is
how
getting further down the line. But if I was him, I'm not coming back. Like next offseason, I'm not playing until I get a new contract.
yeah.
Like you need to
I
pay
agree.
that. He needs to be the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. I'm
Yep.
not coming back until I'm not reporting training camp. Like hopefully the Vikings do right by him. He's the face of the franchise.
Right.
Go ahead and pay that man.
I agree. I agree. So so your bro he chimed in. He said he said concussion protocol.
Still in concussion
So
protocol. Okay.
yep.
'Cause, I
Yep.
mean, you saw he had like that whiplash, how his head went back. So that
Yeah,
didn't look
man.
good.
Mm-mm, at all. And you can only take so many of those in your career.
Yeah.
So that's one down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
ain't got many left. So
But man,
um,
as far as Jefferson, I think just take his time.
yep.
Don't rush because what you don't want him to do is come back and then he gets hurt right away. Then he's gone the rest of the season.
Right.
So if that's a couple weeks and we can kind of segue into this. So the Vikings next game, they got a primetime game next Sunday night in Denver.
Yeah. I don't know why that's a primetime game. Um, I just,
They need to flip. They need
you
to flex that joints. What they need to do.
they really do because
Yeah.
nobody. I mean, look, no disrespect to the Broncos, but they're not going anywhere. And they're not a good team. The Vikings, I don't think they're going anywhere. They're not a great team. Tar Heels beat
Oh, they had a
Lehigh.
college basketball. Tar Heels beat Lehigh. That was on
Oh,
while the Vikings were on. But
yeah,
but
all
yeah,
this
I
long,
mean
all this
Russell.
long.
but
Yeah, yeah.
but Russell Wilson, man, he's been so up and down this season. But that's going to be, how Denver is, man. You're in that high altitude playing out there.
Mhm.
Sunday night, man. That's you always talk about how the Eagles with their home field advantage and stuff, man. Denver's they got a crazy home field advantage out there too. So that game actually might be better than what we're giving it credit for because there are some playmakers on both sides of the ball. It's just
Right,
it's not what you thought coming into the season when you looked at that matchup. You're thinking Kirk Cousins, you're thinking Justin Jefferson.
right.
Particularly Justin, a top of the echelon player in the National Football League.
Yep.
One of those pillars of the league. You're thinking that's going to be a mega attraction, and unfortunately he's hurt. So
Right, right,
what do you
right.
what do you think the what do you think the Vikings chances are going into that game?
I like what George says. Russell has more on his plate than he can handle.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Sierra being one of them.
Facts
He can't handle that.
at all.
but but I see the Vikings. I see them coming out on top of this game. I see them kind of, 'cause after watching Dobbs, they can I see they can put points on the board, and the
Mhm.
defense is pretty good. So I see the Vikings winning this thing 21-10. And it's not going to be. It'll be a fun game for me to watch, and just not everybody else. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right, right.
so I don't think Russell Wilson is over. I don't know why it's over. He's not that old. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's a mental thing. I don't know what Pete Carroll did to him. Maybe he touched him somewhere and just mentally, messed him up. I don't know. I know you should make fun of stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I mean, he went. I don't know. Like he just kind of fizzled out. Like don't know why, because he still has all the tools, right? Did he?
It's like he just kind of fell off a cliff, or like when you see those athletes when they're playing at a high level, then they hit that wall. It just
Mhm.
seems like he hit the wall. I don't know what it is and he still may go, but he was on a trajectory to go to the Hall of Fame when
Right.
he got traded from Seattle to Denver. He was a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Right.
He was on the path. Like it looked like he was a shoe in, and
Easily.
his first year and a half in Denver has been horrible.
Right. Yeah. George knew what I was talking about. I don't want to bring up with the Purdue something that weird thing. But
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, yes, I don't know. And honestly, it might be like what's going on in his personal life that is just kind of you know made him hit that wall. I don't know. It's very odd because I really liked him as a quarterback. I think the Vikings have a chance to draft him at one point.
Oh, the whole league did. He got past.
came,
He went in like the third, fourth round, I believe.
yeah. Oh, damn! Did he fall that far?
Oh yeah, he wasn't no first round pick. He got the. I think each team passed over him like 2-3 times. So
damn,
because he was at North Carolina State in college, then he transferred to Wisconsin, and then he was balling out in Wisconsin. Big Ten balling.
Right.
Kind of elevated his draft stock. They were always kind of so on him because he's not the tallest guy. I think he's only like 5'11", 6 feet. He's not, he's not the tallest guy from an NFL standard, for the quarterback position.
Correct.
But
he's not your prototype.
Right. Yeah. I see my boy Ron George. He was saying he doesn't have the pieces around him. I agree with that to a certain extent, but he makes some bad throws sometimes. I mean, and he skips, man. He'll skip balls. You'll see guys on the crossing pause. You'll see guys on the cross.
Hold on, man. I gotta get the laughing track off for that.
I had to do the pause on that.
You had to pause yourself
already. But those, the receivers, tight ends are going on the crossing patterns. And he's throwing the balls like at their feet, and it's like he hits them in stride. They're going to get up the field, for big yardage. And some of them, the games I've seen it, they're potential touchdowns. And his coach is supposed to be an offensive. Sean Payton's supposed to be like an offensive guru that calling that quarterback whisperer where he can. That's one of the reasons they brought him there and paid him all that money is to fix Russell Wilson. So
yeah, they did, yeah, because he did that with freaking what's his face over in the New Orleans thing. Yeah, Drew Brees. Because wasn't Drew Brees drafted by the
Chargers? He was with the Chargers out there with Phillip Rivers.
That's right. Yeah.
So they drafted Rivers, and Rivers is going to be that that franchise quarterback. So then they ended up trading Drew Brees out to
the Saints.
To the Saints. And here's a little Viking twist to that. The Dolphins could have had Drew Brees, but they ended up trading for Dante Culpepper from the Vikings. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. They lost on that deal. Little baby hands Culpepper.
Oh, Culpepper, man.
Culpepper got hands like Donald Trump.
Man, that dude stayed fumbling the ball.
He did. We were like, what is happening? Well, he's got really small hands. What? Then what do they got to do? Him fumbling the ball all the time? Like what?
Man, I remember they would snap the ball to him, man, and he would drop so many snaps. And I'm like, man, you're playing quarterback position. You shouldn't be dropping snaps like this. This is crazy.
In the NFL, you made it. You made it through Pee-wee, middle school, high school, college. And now you're in this NFL dropping snaps. Like, what part of the game is that? Yeah, just typical Viking shenanigans. But that's funny. Dolphins traded for it. Oh God.
Unreal.
Hey, we gotta talk about. Okay. So I know that your Eagles are on a bye week. Oh, what do you think about? Let's go back. What are your thoughts on the Vikings?
Man, I was impressed by the the defense. Yes, man. Wow. We need a do-over. Golly. I was impressed by the Minnesota Vikings defense today.
Okay.
They're deep. Outside of those two plays, I mean, you're in the National Football League. You're going to give up some touchdowns, but outside of that, I thought they played well. They were, really effective on the run game, shutting that down.
Agreed. Yeah, man, dude, that open field tackling, man, that they're doing is quite impressive. It was,
and like I said, I like Dobbs, Ty Chandler. They need to get him the ball more. They need to give him the ball. He needs to get 20-something, between receptions and rushes. He needs to touch the ball 20 times a game, minimum. He needs to. If they can set up, because you saw, like you talked about it earlier, his acceleration when he gets, whether it's around the corner or just even between tackles, if you can get him in some of those screens, where you got the defense blitzing in, how the quarterback lets the defense come up and then just dump off that little screen.
Yeah, little
He
screen,
could
yep.
he could take some of those to the house. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah,
it makes the quarterback's job a lot easier. It's less stress on Dobbs when you got your playmakers, when you're putting the ball in their hands and letting them do what they do. So
right, where has he been?
Man, they drafted him, but he's been sitting behind Madison, and I'm not. I thought coming in the season, I'm like, okay, he's got his turn. Delvin Cook is gone. I'm like, I thought he was going to eat, but it's just a lot of fumbles. I thought he was going to be that guy, and I haven't seen it thus far. What do you think of Madison?
Cut his ass tonight. Let him go. Let him go. You cut his ass, and then you change that depth chart. You change that depth chart. Put that Chandler kid there, and then boy, we just picked up because he's a strong runner, and then I'm sure they got some other backs there too, man. And then you rock out, man. Go ahead. Hey, put some money on the table. Cut his ass.
Cut it, man.
Yeah, he was always a backup. I don't know what they were thinking. He was always a backup. Skinny Man and I were talking about that the couple of weeks he was here.
Mm-hmm.
Let his ass go. And Shell hates him. She's like, oh, are they giving number 2 the ball? She don't know what the name is. And she barely even watches the games. But what she knows is that when number 2 has the ball, bad things happen. Cut his ass. Cut his ass.
Because he went through those stretch of games. Yeah, he had those stretch of games, man, where he was fumbling on it was like 3 games in a row he fumbled. It was crazy.
It was really bad. It was really
and you know how that is. That gets in your head when you start fumbling over and over and over again. And then I know the media was getting on him, and I think he had clapped back at some fans on like Instagram or something. You're gonna lose every time. You start arguing with fans, that's a wrap.
You're done.
You're done. They done got in your head. You're worried about the wrong stuff.
Yep. You saw what happened to Russell Westbrook when he started clapping back at fans. When he went LA. I mean, a completely different sport, but same type of deal. Shows that I hate him with the passion.
As an Eagles fan, I hope they sign him to a contract extension.
Wow, contract extension. Gee.
Speaking of the Eagles, man.
What's your score? What's your prediction, real quick, before you go to the Eagles?
For the Broncos and Vikings?
Yeah.
Man, that game's in Denver. I'm gonna say Denver 21-17.
Denver?
Yeah, it's in Denver. If it was in Minnesota, I'd give the Vikings the edge. But with it being in Denver, I'm gonna give Denver that. I'm gonna give Denver that edge.
Okay, that's fair. They beat Kansas City, so hey.
Yeah, and they've got some good players on defense, but like I said, I think the home field advantage. I think maybe a late field goal will push them over top. But this is what, 5 wins in a row for the Vikings?
I don't think it's 5 in a row.
I
think it's 4. I think it's 4 in a row.
I think it's because they beat Carolina, right? And they beat Chicago Bears. They beat they beat Green Bay, right?
Yeah, they beat Green Bay.
And they beat Atlanta.
Yeah, they beat. Yeah, you might be right.
And they just won today. That's 5 in a row.
Yeah, that's 5 in a row, bro. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's 5 in a row. Wow. Go Vikes. Woo!
Yeah. So now think about that. So you beat Denver next week, and then guess what? They got back-to-back primetime games. They play on Monday night against the Bears. Man, why am I a hater? Yeah. What do I hate about? I'm just spitting facts over here. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So it's 5. Hey, they argue, bro. They argue, man. They are. Yeah. We're not gonna talk about the Panthers.
No, don't worry. We won't run. We'll do you a favor. We won't talk about that busted team.
You got that, brother. Okay.
Also, if the Vikings win their next 2 games, both primetime games, a Sunday night and a Monday night, so you got at Denver, then you're at home against the Bears. That's a 7-game winning streak, and then they go into a bye week. That's not too shabby right there.
They're playing some weaker teams. They might do something. We'll see. I'm a Viking fan, so I live in reality. I'm not a Cowboys fan. Where this year's our year every year. So
every year.
Right, right. So, all right, man. So I know you've been trying to get to the Eagles. Let's get to it.
Yeah, man, we'll touch on them a little bit. We won't spend a whole lot of time on them, man, but they're on a bye week this week, but we didn't get a chance to talk about last Sunday's game, man. That prime time game. Big win, man. That was the most watched game thus far in the football season at 27.1 million viewers. So, I mean, yeah, everybody was watching it, man, and it lived up to the billing, man. It definitely did.
We were tuned in over here. We were tuned in. Yeah.
I know you were tuned in wanting the Eagles to lose. So
I was hating so bad. Me and Skinny Man were hating so bad.
Yeah.
We're hating so bad.
I got to give it up, man. I know I had talked on the preview of the last show. I talked about Dak doing Dak things, but Dak balled out, man.
Dak balled out.
Balled out.
That sack that he took towards the end of the fourth quarter.
Yep.
I mean, he could have thrown the ball away. Whatever. I mean, that was just one little thing. Besides that, man, he killed it, man. I think he outplayed Hurts.
He did.
His QBR isn't as good, but I think he outplayed him.
He outplayed Hurts. I think the Eagles made that game a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they should have blown them out, but man, there were some bad plays that they were making. I didn't like some of their defensive alignments. Like they had a safety, our safety in Reed Blankenship. He's covering CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's just cooking him on every play. And I'm like, man, y'all not making no type of adjustments. And I get it. We had a couple guys in the secondary that were hurt that weren't playing, but still, you can't put CeeDee Lamb that's a number one wide receiver. So you can't be putting a safety on him and expecting him to cover him. Like it's just not going to happen.
Right.
So that, and then you saw towards the end of the game when we were trying to run the clock out when we fumbled and luckily our offensive lineman, our Steen,
jumped on it.
Yeah, he jumped on the football and
we were so mad.
Man, wow.
We were hot. We're like, how can the Vikings can't recover balls like that? Everything leads back to us. Everything leads back to us.
It does.
All roads, man.
Man, but
I just think we got a Cowboys fan here.
What'd you say?
So it looks like we have a Cowboys fan in here.
Oh yeah, it's my boy. It's my boy Fahim. We don't care about them Cowboys.
Not really. No, not really. We don't. No beef. Don't really care though.
I got beef.
You definitely have beef.
No, but yeah, I just think some of the play calling, I didn't care for. There was a couple plays where, they were trying to run the clock out, and they should have been passing on first and second down. And I think one of the announcers, I think it was Greg Olsen, had brought it up. Don't wait till third down to pass because it's an obvious passing down. You want to catch them off guard and pass earlier. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Micah Parsons, I think he's the best defensive player in the NFL, but the Cowboys defense, they can be had.
Okay, yeah.
And we saw some of that last. Yeah, we saw some of that last Sunday. We saw it in some, we saw what the 49ers did to them earlier in the season. So they can definitely be had, but I think the Eagles made the game a little bit more harder than it needed to be. But they got the win, man. They got the win. They got a 2-game lead in the division over the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So
that was a crucial game. For that alone,
Yeah.
You know what it tells me though? It tells me that the Eagles are not the real deal. They should have dominated the Cowboys. The Cowboys were in it. The Cowboys beat themselves towards the end of the game. The Eagles aren't real. Dak outplayed Hurts. Dak is a better quarterback, even though they cheated with the numbers and has Hurts QBR rating better. But Dak he threw for 3 touchdowns, 374 yards. Hurts only threw for 207 yards, 2 touchdowns. So I do like Hurts. So there's no hate on him. It's just hate on the Eagles.
Yeah, I was going to say you don't believe none of that mess. I just let you sit there and read off all that mess knowing good and well, man. It's Good Sunday, and you up here telling these lies. But go ahead, man. Just keep at it.
With no interruptions, I appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you get your lies off. So go ahead.
what the Kia say? Lie just to lie, hate just
Hate
to
just to
hate.
hate. Exactly. Exactly.
What
Oh
guys?
man, so
The
check
Eagles
this
will
out.
choke the season. I think they'll choke the season too, George. Thank you very much.
So we both have primetime games next week. We go to Kansas City for a Super Bowl rematch on Monday night.
You do? I can't wait to see that.
I know.
Woo wee! Woo! We're
Yeah.
gonna talk about that. Yeah, what you thinking?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, Pat Mahomes is the best player in the National Football League, in my opinion. So anytime you're going against him, you know, he gets busy. So they're at home. I think we can beat them, though. I don't think they're as good as they were last year. I'm not overly impressed with their defense. You know, Travis Kelce, you know, I think he's the best tight end in football. He does his thing. Their wide receivers, you know, they're kind of suspect, but they do seem to get open. You know, that's kind of the thing. They do seem to get open. So
they run good routes. They're not blazing. They don't have blazing speed, but they run really good routes.
And Mahomes, you know, he gets a lot of those guys open too, just with how he delivers the football.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm not gonna pick my squad to lose, and you know we'll I know the next show we'll talk about that game a little bit more, but I'm excited, man, about because we got a nice stretch coming up as far as it's like Kansas City, Buffalo, 49ers, and Dallas. Those are like our next 4 games.
God.
That's a gauntlet, man. I was looking at that and I'm like, even if you came out of that 2-2, like one of those two being I want them to win. Yeah, especially if one of those two is the Cowboys, because then you swept them.
Right.
You know, so if it comes down to, you know, the latter part of the season, latter part of December, and you're looking at, you know, the winning the division, well, you got the head-to-head on because you swept them. So
yeah, that's murder's roll though, man. But
no question.
So what do you think the final score will be?
I'm gonna say Eagles 31-28.
Okay, so they're both teams gonna score some points. Okay.
Oh, there's no question. Yeah, you're not. No, they're gonna score points. And Mahomes, our secondary, that's the weak link of the Eagles defense is secondary. I think you know with Bradbury and Darius Slay, they seem like they got older. Kind of how we're talking about Russell Wilson. It just seems like they aged a lot. And then we've got some injuries. You know, we got Roby. He should be back. He was out the last couple games, so he's a cornerback. He should be back after the bye week. So, you know, that'll be definitely an added addition for us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm with George. I don't know if you saw that the Eagles will choke this season. So
yeah.
Overall,
I want you to worry about those sorry Panthers. I leave my Eagles. You worry about them raggedy Panthers.
First thing first.
Yeah. you got bigger issues on your hands. You worry about them.
This is what we say to that.
There we go. That's Bird Gang right there.
That word. So
So did you see Ravens lost to the Browns last second field goal? Oh yeah, I know Tubbs is not happy right now. Yeah.
Oh man, I would go at him, but I ain't gonna do it because I haven't gone at him all year. So
then don't do it. Don't be the front runner. Do it now.
Right? Yeah. So I'm like, all right, well, since I ain't been on his head. Pause. I'll see I'll just let it be. You know
right.
But the Browns have quietly beaten some pretty good teams.
They beat the 49ers earlier in the season.
Yeah, so they're doing some things, man. They're doing some things. Did Watson play?
The Redskins, Commanders? Or you said Watson?
Yeah.
No, Watson played. Yeah, Watson.
Yeah.
And he actually, man, he was struggling in the first part of the game, and in the second half, he stepped up, man. He made a big play. He broke loose. They did a blitz and he broke loose. I think he ran for like 15, 20 yards to help get them in field goal range to where they end up kicking that game-winning field goal. Because, you know, he's been catching a lot of flack. 13 points they gave up in a minute.
Damn!
Wow. Yeah, man.
Yeah. He made the man in the building.
Man, what up, bro? What up, bro? Dropping the gems. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Man, Baltimore had the bulk of the game. They had control of it.
Yeah.
That's a bad loss. And I think they were in Baltimore too. if I remember correctly, I think they were in Baltimore. That is a bad loss, man, to have at home.
Man, so the new Browns beat the old Browns. Damn.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad, man. Oh man, San Fran, you can't take. You know what, George? I have to agree. Even though the Vikings did beat them, and we were super excited when they did, they've been on a slid, or slide, or whatever. They've lost some pretty terrible games. Are they on a losing streak? Did they win last week? The Niners?
Man, I
Or
cannot.
are they on a bye?
I can't remember if they won. I know they won.
I think they're on a bye last week.
Okay, because they beat Jacksonville real bad today.
Okay.
They beat them. They beat them bad.
But they had lost like 2 or 3 in a row or some shit
Mhm.
like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't think that's it. And it's Jacksonville. I mean, I know Jacksonville was on a run, but it's still Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville is suspect.
Right. No disrespect to Casey, but they are suspect.
Yeah.
So we got some remaining games here, and I did some for today, and I did some picks. I think in tomorrow too, because Bills and Broncos play tomorrow, right?
They're tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow night. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got Falcons over the Cardinals tonight, Lions over the Chargers, them Boys over the Giants, Hawks over the Commanders, Raiders over the Jets, and Bills over the Broncos. I don't know if you did a pick, or what do you think? What do you think? What do you think Falcons over Cards?
Well, Kyler Murray's coming back,
Okay.
so I'm interested to see what Kyler Murray does. And James Conner, their running back. So they've got 2 of their key players on offense coming back. I don't know how rusty Kyler is going to be.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, can you? I mean, the speed of the game is something else. You can't really duplicate that, not even in practice.
Mhm.
So, and again, this is the NFL, which means not for long. You can't catch up to the speed of the game.
Right.
But hopefully he can. But I don't think it's going to be tonight. So, we'll see. What do you think? Lions versus Chargers?
Man, is that game in Detroit or LA?
Good question. I think it's in LA.
If it's
somebody in the comments, if y'all know if you're watching it.
I think I would. I'm gonna go with the.
I'm gonna find it.
I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna go with the Chargers, especially if it's in LA.
It's in LA.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
Okay.
And I got the Bills. I think the Bills will beat the Broncos.
Okay. Cowboys over the Giants.
No question. I think Dak just threw an interception.
Did he seriously?
I think Dak just threw an interception.
Dak doing what Dak does.
Yeah, I believe. Don't quote me, but I just glanced at the TV and saw the Giants running the wrong way. If you a Cowboys fan, they running the wrong way.
Did they run it the wrong way?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Seahawks over the Commanders or not?
Yeah, I'll pick the Seahawks. I think that game is in Seattle, if I remember correctly. Okay,
you're correct.
So Ron got the Giants. Okay.
Got the Giants. Okay. What's Kitty Man say? Throwing them sleep numbers. Oh boy, silly man. All right, and then Raiders and Jets. What you thinking? They're both shitty teams, so
they're bad. I'm a
coin toss.
That's so bad.
It's a coin toss, and I don't know where they're playing.
Ooh. I don't. That's a serious coin toss right there.
Yeah, they're playing in Vegas, so.
I mean, the Raiders, they fired their coach, Josh McDaniel. They got Antonio Pierce, the former linebacker for the Giants. He's a new coach. They got a win last week, and it seems like the players
they were happy. Like him.
Yep, they're happy. And like I say, they respect him. They didn't respect Josh McDaniel. He made his name off of Tom Brady and being up there calling plays. The Patriots. You got Tom Brady as your quarterback, man. You and I can call plays.
Facts. Hey, we be head coaches somewhere.
Absolutely.
Off of that. So.
Right. So, man, I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
Okay.
Now the Jets got their defenses. They got a really good defense. They have like a Super Bowl caliber defense, but that
They
quarterback
do.
Wilson he's trash.
Trash.
Man. Yeah,
Trash.
trash. He's trash.
Yeah.
So,
What he was their first round draft pick. What?
he's a high pick. He was like a
yeah.
top 2 or 3 pick in the draft. He
Damn.
was high. You know, when we talked about, I think on the first episode, he was supposed to play. This is supposed to be Rodgers.
Yeah, he's about to go back and learn the ropes.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't know, kind of, you know, let Rodgers mentor him and you know, put the game out like that. So he kind of just got thrown into it. But hey, man, you're, you know, it's week 10. Figure it the F out. You know what I mean? And he started last year, right? He played last year.
They messed up. They should have went and got a better quarterback. We know when Rodgers got hurt. And then
right. And let somebody let somebody else mentor him another season.
Well, and then if that guy, because I think he cost him a couple of games this year. Wilson did. You know, if he had a better quarterback in there, he could have made won 1 or 2 of those games. You know, put you in better position because they heard Rodgers after the last game when they were playing the Chargers. Derwin James, the All-Pro safety for the Chargers, asked him, "When are you coming back?" He said, "In a few weeks."
Word?
Yeah, he's saying in a few weeks. So I think they're looking at something. I don't know, man. He's 40 years old or close to 40 with that type of injury. Like that's crazy. But
I don't see that. I don't see that happening. Not especially with this in a few weeks. Where's the record gonna be? You know what I mean? He's gonna be worth coming back.
Right.
At that point, you know what I mean? So yeah. I don't see that happening, but I get it. He's a competitor. One of the best to ever do it. So you know, they're built different.
Question.
So
no question.
You know, he may even be able to do it. It might not just be his competitive nature. He might really be able to do it, but would it be wise?
And their offensive line is not good. They don't have a good offensive line, and that's part of the problem. If they had an elite offensive line, I just think it's too risky. I just think you get them healthy, you get them ready for next season.
Yeah, same.
And I wouldn't count on Wilson being my backup. I'd get another guy to come in there in case Rodgers goes down because they have a playoff caliber roster, but it's that quarterback plays was holding them back.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because he definitely has the weapons and defense. They got a high. The receiver's really good.
Wilson.
Wilson. And who's that cornerback that's real nice too? He's the young.
Gardner, Sauce Gardner. Yeah.
And they make each other better, like
absolutely
practice and stuff.
Yep, so. That's right.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Let's segue over to the NBA, man. National Basketball Association. Let's talk about them Timberwolves, man. They on a buckets. They on a 5-game winning streak.
Man, we fly high,
right?
Whole life, you know we're balling. Hey,
balling, man. And they done beat some good teams. They beat the world champion Nuggets. I've watched all those games, but Karl-Anthony Towns was hooping in that game. Anthony Edwards has been doing his thing,
and that's the only loss the Nuggets have. I think they're 8-1.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the Wolves have let some get. They've let some slip through their fingers too. They lost 2, right?
But that one against the Hawks down in Atlanta, they were up like 20 points going into halftime, and it's like you lose to the Hawks up 20 points, but then you beat the Nuggets. Like I don't get it. I don't understand how that works.
Timberwolf fashion, yeah. Cause you told me that I didn't see that game. I think I was traveling or something. I didn't see that game. Yep. And you texted me. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, because I text you at first. I'm like, man, they're killing out here. And I text you back like, never mind. They pulled a Timberwolves.
You don't have to find a sports bar to go to watch the game. They pulled the Timberwolves.
They pulled the Timberwolves.
Oh,
so yeah, God. Man, they beaten the Nuggets, the Utah, Boston, New Orleans, and San Antonio. In that Boston game, man, Jason Tatum and Anthony Edwards were going at it. They were talking junk, and Anthony Edwards, he locked him up on D. Like that's kind of been the one knock on Anthony Edwards is his defense. They're like, he puts that effort into his defense that he puts into his up. Like he could be the best player in the NBA. Like to me, there's no question about it. And he said Jason Tatum told him like, I'm coming at you, and he was like, man, I'm coming right back. So it's like that's what you want to see out of your
dog in him.
Yeah, you want to see that, man. You ain't shying away. You're not backing down. And I
Right.
just think that elevated his confidence because even after the game, Rudy Gobert was saying, like we know he can score. Like we know he's an all-world scorer. But what impressed me the most was, that defense that he put out there because it just,
Yeah.
It galvanized everybody, got everybody else pumped up. So
Absolutely. Yeah, that boy got heart, man. That boy
he
got
does.
heart. And he kind of sets the tone for his team now. And again, I don't know what's gonna happen with Cat, but it seems like Cat is there for the ride now.
Man,
Because the last game I watched them play together.
yeah.
I mean, uh, bruh, they was going back. When they play San Antonio, it was Friday. They play
Yep.
again tonight too. It was Friday. Man,
Mhm.
Cat came out there, boy, 29, 12, and 2. And Ant-Man came 28, 7, and 5, man. So both of them. So there's enough ball to go around. You know what I mean? So if they keep putting numbers up like that, again, you don't have to do that night in and night out. But if you're close to that, I mean, that combo, that 1-2 combo, Batman and Robin, Cat being Robin.
And Cat's got to realize he's Robin.
Right,
That's
he's
the
gotta
whole. That's the
really,
only way that that's going to work. He's got to relent and know that Anthony Edwards. He's that guy. So
mhm,
he's the guy, and because
he's
Cat
him.
was for the longest. Cat was the face of the Timberwolves, and
Right.
then Anthony Edwards just came in. He, like I said, he's got that charisma about himself where he just lights up a room. Cat doesn't have that. Cat looks
No.
like it doesn't. Sometimes looks like he's disinterested.
I think because he's light skinned.
Yeah, y'all are like that sometimes.
Whoa, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all.
I'm not in that. I'm not in that group.
Whoa. I might be
Wesley Snipes
light
over
skinned, but
here.
I'm a dark brother.
Yeah,
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes over here.
No, we're not. This Joker said he's Blade.
That's what they call me,
No,
Blade.
they call him Blade. Chris J, aka Blade. You don't get out of here with that mess.
But
So go
no,
ahead.
but he's just got to realize that Anthony he's the go-to guy. But the thing that I like about Towns is he can shoot that three-pointer, and he extends the defense out there. And you saw on Friday, man, he was knocking that three down. Like he doesn't need much room just because of how tall he is.
Right.
He doesn't need much room to get his shot off, and
Yeah. I think that Wembanyama kid though, man, he was impressive, man. He looked impressive. I like watching him play.
Yeah.
I like watching him play, man. But yeah, that was a great game. And then it was a midseason tournament, and so they're 1-0. I still don't understand how the tournament works, but
Well, I understand a little bit. So basically, they eat the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. They broke the teams down in groups of 5. Light skin issues. But no, they broke them down in groups of 5.
real
So
thing.
the Timberwolves, I think they're in the same pool as Golden State because they play Golden State tonight in Golden State, and then they play them again on Tuesday in Golden
Yeah, I
State.
saw that. I saw that.
That's a weird schedule. So
Right.
man, and while we're talking about this, man, let's talk about some of these raggedy courts that they've designed. Now, the one you sent me for the Bulls court is nice. That's official. That's official business. But Indianapolis and San Antonio's courts are trash. They are pure trash. Whoever decorated that, they need to find a new job because that is horrible.
They need to find a new job. Cut them tonight.
Yeah. They are not on the decoration committee anymore.
Oh no,
those courts are horrible.
Trash, man. Like you sent me that Indy one. I was like, oh, this is whack. Like, what in the world?
Because I was looking at it, I'm like, they can't. When I first turned to it, I thought it was like some international Euro League game or something. And I'm looking and I'm like, that's the Pacers? I'm like, this is horrible. They're supposed to play on this? Like,
Right.
no way.
I wouldn't even be able to play on it. Like, I don't know how they're doing it, man. So respect to the players. I guess ballers ball. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Now, I didn't mind Phoenix's court, although it looked like it was LA's court.
It did. It was confusing who was the home team. When I was watching that game, I didn't know if it was in LA or Phoenix. I didn't know.
Right. I'm like, who's on? I mean, you knew, you could see it on TV, but it was just like, it's just some concept. It was just kind of hard to put that together because it was purple, like the Lakers. We all associate purple with the Lakers. You know what I mean?
Confusing.
So
it was
yeah,
confusing. Man.
Yeah,
So speaking of LA, man, What are your thoughts? AD just came back the other day. They had a comeback win against Phoenix, but he had some back spasm, and they lost some real bad games. I know they lost to, I think it was the Rockets by like 35
That's
points.
like 35 points.
That's crazy. And the Rockets are supposed to be rebuilding. I don't understand that.
Right. But the Rockets, I mean, they're like 5-3.
They got
right
some
now.
young talent on that team, and then they got Emi Udoka that was in Boston. He's a real good.
Yeah.
I know he had the off the court stuff, but man, he's a real good coach. That dude's a real good coach. So, but LA shouldn't be losing to the Rockets by 35. I don't care if AD plays or not. That's crazy.
Yeah, no NBA team should be losing by that much to anybody. You know what I mean? Like even the trash teams. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's sad. Now AD, he came in and he had subpar numbers for me. He was 18, 11, and 4. But at least his presence was felt on the court. He was making, he blocked the shots and making people change the shots. So he was out there defensively doing his thing. But I mean, you can't rely on him to score. And he played 36 minutes. Bron played 36 minutes, which is just why.
That's crazy.
Does he have to play 36 minutes just to get this win against a trash ass? No. I'm like the Phoenix is the trash. The record isn't good right now. The record isn't good because
they've had a lot of injuries. They've had Booker out. Bradley Beal just came back a few games, so they haven't had their whole complement of players on their roster. Because when you pay 3 guys pretty much all your money, the rest of your players are going to be role players. So when those guys don't play, you're going to be at a major disadvantage. That's where they're at right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
agreed.
That game with LeBron went off that game.
LeBron went for 32, 11, and 6.
That's crazy, man. At almost 40 years old. He's
59 and a half years old.
Man, insane. And they talked about putting a kind of a minutes restriction on him. But if he doesn't play the minutes he plays, they don't win.
Correct.
That's just the unfortunate part. Like LeBron at this stage, man, if they could play him like 30 minutes in the lower 30s, and AD should be playing like close to 40 minutes a game.
40 minutes, I agree.
And that's the problem. Even when he's close to those minutes, he disappears. You don't even know that he's on a basketball court.
Right. Because there was a time during the game I was like, wait a minute, where's AD? Mm-hmm. He was out there, but he just hadn't done anything, significant. So, but to see the old man doing what he does, and the thing about it, LeBron, he picks his moments when to turn it on. And it's kind of like he hits turbo on the controller or whatever to try to get his team back in it, and then once they're kind of in it, then he'll kind of dial it back a little bit and start being a playmaker.
Right.
But I feel bad for him, man. I feel so bad for him because he shouldn't have to work this hard. Those other guys, they need to step up. But AD especially,
I saw Darvin Ham made a substitution in terms of with the starting lineup. He took out Austin Reeves and put in Cam Reddish. And Cam Reddish, I think Cam Reddish got off that last game. I know he had some threes because he missed a crucial 3
against Miami.
Yep. He missed a crucial 3 against Miami.
Yeah. People were talking about Bron for passing the ball to him. Bron's like he normally makes that shot. Let's see. I think J-Bone, what he said? Yeah, they got to figure out a way to balance out those minutes, otherwise Bron won't last. Agreed. Good to see.
Hey, speaking of J-Bone,
thanks, Jay.
What's going on with your Milwaukee Bucks, man?
Whoa!
What's going on with those Bucks? They went up to Toronto and got they got blazed.
Yeah, they stay getting blazed.
Yeah. Hey, they miss Drew Holiday, man, because he was that lockdown defender. And Dame Lillard's he's never been known for his defense. You can see a difference and just from their like defensive philosophy. And they have a new coach. So I think that's part of it too. I'm not putting all of it on Dame, but you can see a difference how they play defense.
You said that would happen though.
Yeah.
You said that would happen. And the question was his offense going to be able to outpace that or make up for it? And at this point, not yet. I mean, that first game, he balled out. So it was like, okay, well, the Bucks are just going to run through teams.
Right.
Not so much. This is the NBA. At the end of the day, it's the NBA.
It is.
All you guys can ball. So depending on who you got on your bench and who has what skill set, like role players, and you don't have a player to lock in. I mean, and play D, it's a free for all. So you got to outscore the opponent, and that's tough to do in the NBA, man. If you're
It
playing like
is.
that. Yeah. So yeah. Now I haven't watched the Bucks all that much. Like, who's their third guy? Is it
Supposed to
still
be
Chris?
Chris Middleton is supposed to be the third guy. I mean,
Okay.
they've got some guys that Brooke Lopez is there. They've got some guys that that can score. That can score. Bobby Portis is there. So I mean, they've got a good team. I just think it's going to take them a little bit longer to get acclimated. But they're going. They got to tighten up on the defensive end. Like,
yeah. Because that defense is that's going to create the offense. So. Yeah. And I got in the Bucks. I got no beef with the Bucks. I want to see them do well. You know what I mean? Because I really like Giannis. I think he is the best player in the NBA. As far as his skill set and the things that he can do. A lot of people might say that other guy, the Joker,
the guy you don't like.
I hate him, man. I hate him. Like that video I sent you. He looks like he's sleeping when he's playing the game. Like he looks bored. And he's
Well,
chilling.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think because he's better than a lot of those guys that he's going against. You know what I mean? He's so fundamentally sound because he's nowhere near like the most athletic guy on the court, but he's skilled, just like his court vision, his passing. You know what I mean? Just how he reads the defense is crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. Mad respect, but I hate the guy.
Before we get out of here, man, I shot you a link on the lawsuit, man, with the Big Baller brand with the with LeVar Ball and his Lonzo and LaMelo. I don't believe the middle son has anything to do with it, but I don't know, man. What did you think of that? You get a chance to look at it at all?
I did, and these people need to sit down somewhere and shut the hell up.
It's bad, man.
Just stop. Come on, black people.
It's bad. My whole thing with that is like, it's like they're countersuing because I looked at it and I watched a couple videos on it further. So I don't know if you ever watched that Ball in the Family show they had on Facebook. It was like a reality show.
No, I know what you're talking about, but I never watched it.
It was supposed to be a 7-season series for $50 million. They only made it to 6 seasons. They ended up canceling them. Facebook canceled the 7th season. And Alan Foster, he said LeVar Ball hired him to do branding for the company. Part of that branding was he was supposed to get 33% of the company. He owned 33% of it. So essentially he's saying that they kind of X'd him out. LeVar made a separate like Big Baller company that he wasn't affiliated with, and LeVar was taking money. He said a lot of those luxury cars and the house and the renovations and all of that stuff that he's doing, he said he took the money from the Big Baller that they made, and he's put into his own, his lifestyle.
His lifestyle, right? But is it so? Is he saying that money that he's doing that with is owed to him? Is owed to Foster?
33% of that money should be his because he owns 33% of the company. So, and then he said he was responsible for LaMelo, the one that's with the Hornets. He's responsible for his branding. Well, LaMelo's got it's an 8-figure contract with Puma, and then he signed a $265 million contract with the Hornets. So I don't know. He included Melo in the lawsuit.
He's got LeVar, LaMelo, and Tina.
Yeah, Tina
and Puma.
Yeah. So Tina's the mom. So he's got all of them in the lawsuit. I don't know how he's entitled, unless he's his agent. I don't know how he'd be entitled to any of LaMelo's contract, but maybe maybe the shoe endorsement, maybe with him saying he was in charge of the branding. Because I don't know if you remember when the shoes first came out, Lonzo had that shoe and it was $500.
Right.
And Alan Foster was like, he said he was the one that came up with that idea. He was like, you look at all the other NBA players that had shoes, that their signature shoes, they were always $150, $200. Besides those Marburys, they were like, $150, $200. he wanted to do a shock value.
See.
I tried to slide
See,
that in
you over here. You over here trying to slide mess in. You over here trying to
for
slide.
those that don't know,
He
my
said-
co-host, I went to visit him in Indianapolis. He had a pair of those $15 Stephon Marbury. Where'd you get those from, Mervin's?
You over here sneak this in. You over here sneak this in. Man, I got them. Man, I forgot that store is called, man. It used to be in the mall. But yeah, it was something like that when you
Okay.
said, yo, man. I pulled my Achilles tendon in them shoes.
There you go.
Sliding all over the floor. The things that stick.
They can't. There's no way. $15. But Alan Foster, he said that it was his idea. He did it for shock value because when he came out, people were like $500. Like, I need to look into this. I need to see what these $500 shoes are about. So he said a lot of that stuff came from him. And then now, I watched an interview with him the other day, and he said, if you notice, none of the sons are wearing those shoes. He said they don't have any shoes. You don't see any hoodies or anything. Like LeVar right now, it's like condiments, ketchup, and big baller hot sauce. That's what he's like promoting right now.
Yeah, because the shoes were trash.
Right. And Lonzo got hurt. Lonzo got hurt in those shoes. Yep.
He got hurt in those shoes. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
See, Alan Foster said,
was he a Laker? Was he a Laker then when he got hurt?
I believe he was a Laker because they did it in the summer league. And see, he said that the idea wasn't for him to like use them and ball out in them. They were like a prototype. So he was just gonna go to summer league because all eyes were on him during that summer league, so they could take pictures and see the shoe and kind of drum up interest. But he said he kept playing in the shoes. So you're hearing one side, and then LeVar, he had an interview on DJ Vlad, and he explained his side of the case. And he's saying there aren't any pending lawsuits. Everything was thrown out. See, they accused Alan Foster of embezzling $1.5 million from Lonzo, but according to Foster and what I looked up, it looks like there was never any merit to that, or he wasn't arrested. Now, the thing about Alan Foster was I did a little dive into his past. He was arrested. He did prison time, actually down here in Beaumont, Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had like a financial investment company, and I don't know if it was like misappropriation of funds or his clients. He was gearing them towards like high risk stocks. So yeah, he's got
like the Pentagon does with our taxes. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a whole nother subject right there. But
that's a different show.
Fact. But he did do some jail time.
Damn.
So he doesn't have the cleanest track record himself. So I'm just interested, going forward. I want to see what happens to this. If there's any merit, because if he legitimately does own 33% of that sports, company, and they've made money and he hasn't gotten his share, seems like that would hold up in court. But again, you're just seeing his side of it. So
I think it's just making us look bad as a people, honestly. Like I saw that and I was reading through it. I'm just like, come on, man. We got to do better. First off, it started off with saying that LeVar, LaMelo, and Tina and Puma played them out hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, here's my question: how?
Right.
Who? I mean, does anybody even wear these shoes? Like, if somebody ran up on me with some big baller brand shoes, I would turn around and say, "What are those?"
Right.
Like, nobody is buying this stuff.
LeVar Ball's the only person I've seen wearing that stuff right now. It's just he had these slides. They look like moon boots. I saw him wearing those on TV like a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, who would pay? It was like $475, and I'm like, first off, most people are not paying $475 for slides, and they're not for those big ballers. Like no one's buying that. So
no, who are you?
Right.
who are? No, come on, man. No, I think it was. I thought it was a dumb idea to put that type of price tag on there. You know what I mean? To try to pique interest. Like what? I don't. It's backwards thinking to me. Look, if you're not doing it like Jordan, you're not doing it right. He figured it out. They figured it out.
Well, and the funny you said that because he's like anti what Jordan did because he was like Jordan doesn't own Nike. When Jordan passes away, his kids aren't going to get Nike. He was like, my kids have the big baller. I'm like, yeah, but you got to have something that people want to buy. You could have your own company,
Right.
but if you don't have customers, you don't have clients that are coming and supporting your company, it doesn't matter that you are an entrepreneur and own your own company, because he said he tried to partner with Nike, he tried to partner with Adidas, but he wanted $1 billion. Well, come on,
man.
Yeah. Come on.
What are we talking about?
Right.
Like who are you?
Exactly.
Nobody knows who you are. I didn't even know that he played in the league. You know what I mean?
He really didn't. He was like a practice. He had tryouts. He didn't make it to the league or anything like that.
Okay, so he didn't play in the league.
It's impressive. You had 2 sons that got drafted in the top 3, first time in NBA history. Like you did a heck of a job. Had another son that played in the developmental league and made some preseason teams. Like, man, that's impressive. Kudos to you. But you're not getting $1 billion. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
Let's pump the brakes on that.
Yeah, pump the brakes. And your kids, they're in the league, great, but they have not changed the game. He said they're going to change the game.
No. He was mad because Melo signed that, because it was rumored that Melo signed a $100 million deal with Puma. He said it's probably a third of that. So even if he got $30 million, that's impressive. He got a $265 million contract. That's his second one. That's not even his rookie contract. So he's made close to $300 million in NBA contracts. He's, you know what I mean? And he's he's been in the league a handful of years. So
that's impressive.
That's extremely impressive. But it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, man. And we'll definitely follow up and give any updates when we hear anything on it.
It was a very interesting article. I was reading that, and but by the whole time I was just thinking in my head, like, what, these millions of dollars, like nobody even wears this. What? Like, where's this stuff? So like, what are they talking about? And LeVar said, he said doesn't owe a cent to anybody. And then, like I said, I saw that suit, Lonzo Ball, when he sued Foster back in 2019. Like you brought that up, so I don't know. Again, nobody wears the shoes, so I don't. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. And I just think the whole thing makes us look bad. Just
it does. It does.
That's that though. So that's all I got on the list from the notes, man.
So now, man, we're good to go. No, I just, before we drop off, man, I just want to thank everybody that listened. And, if you're looking at it on YouTube, just please do us a favor. Just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything at all. It means a lot to us. We're trying to grow the show, grow the platform. So we appreciate all the support that we're getting from everybody.
Well said. I appreciate everybody in the comments interacting with us. That really helps us create a dynamic with everybody on these live shows and interaction. So we really appreciate that. And then make sure you guys are checking out all our other stuff out there. We have the Shell and Shad show. We won't be on for the next week, but we'll be on Friday after next, and so on and so forth. Just had to take a pause for a little bit because I gotta work. Other than that, man, that's all I got. Let's see, we got another comment on here. Thank you. We appreciate it. Means a lot. Means a lot. Good job, Chris J. We did the damn thing. So we'll let everybody get back to their football. Chris, I know you love your football. I know you love your sports. So enjoy, my friend. And I will be texting you later while the Timberwolves are whooping somebody's ass. So
all right, sounds good, my man. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Sunday. All right, we out.
All right, talk to you guys later.